What's good, YouTube family? I'm designer Malcolm, and you've just landed on another episode of Design Language. Today, we're kicking back and diving into the origin of Chanel. If you're into fashion like me and truly admire what makes these brands great, then you're really going to vibe with this. So let's not waste any time and get into it. Chapter 1: A Revolutionary Vision in Luxury Fashion. Few brands have left as indelible a mark on the world of fashion as Chanel. From its humble beginnings to its enduring global dominance, Chanel is not merely a brand, it is an institution of elegance and innovation. Gabrielle Coco Chanel, the visionary behind this empire, didn't just design clothes, she redefined how women express themselves. Her creations broke the chains of societal norms, replacing rigid corsets with sleek, comfortable designs that celebrated freedom, empowerment, and individuality. The story of Chanel transcends the classic tweed jackets, quilted handbags, and little black dresses we associate with the brand today. It is the story of a woman who challenged conventions at every turn, using her art as a medium for liberation. Gabrielle Chanel's approach to fashion was as much about practicality as it was about style, a combination that allowed her designs to endure across generations. Her legacy speaks to the idea that fashion can be more than fleeting trends. It can be a statement, a movement, and a reflection of cultural shifts. In this episode of Design Language, we explore the life, career, and legacy of Gabrielle Chanel, a woman whose journey from poverty to prominence changed the course of fashion history. Along the way, we'll uncover the lesser-known chapters of her life and how her resilience and ingenuity built a brand that remains timeless. But before we begin, let's take a moment to spotlight Fashion Source. Fashion Source is a free weekly editorial that keeps you informed about the intersection of fashion, culture, design, and technology. You can get access to Fashion Source via the link in the description. Now, let's not waste any more of your precious time and dive into the extraordinary tale of Chanel. Chapter 2: Origins. Gabrielle Chanel's humble beginnings. Gabrielle Bonheur. Chanel was born on August 19, 1883, in Saumur, France, to a laundress mother and a traveling peddler father. Her childhood was steeped in hardship. After her mother's death, Chanel's father abandoned her and her siblings, leaving them at the mercy of a Catholic orphanage in Aubazine. It was within the walls of this austere environment that Gabrielle's unique aesthetic began to take shape. The nuns' minimalist habits and the convent's stark architecture influenced her lifelong preference for clean lines and monochromatic palettes. In her late teens, Chanel left the orphanage to forge her own path, working as a seamstress by day and singing in cabarets by night. Performing songs like Qui qu'a vu Coco earned her the nickname Coco, though she would later romanticize the origin story, suggesting it was a term of endearment from her lovers. During this time, she honed her sewing skills and developed an eye for fashion, gradually distinguishing herself from the conventional femininity of the time. Coco's relationships with influential men like Etienne Balsan, a wealthy textile heir, and Arthur Boyd Capel, an English polo player, were instrumental in her journey. Balsan introduced her to the opulent lifestyle of French high society, while Capel provided the financial backing for her first boutique in Deauville in 1913. Unlike many women of her era, Chanel didn't seek security through marriage. Instead, she used these relationships as stepping stones, leveraging her connections to build her independence. By the time Chanel opened her second boutique in Biarritz, her designs had begun to revolutionize fashion. Using jersey fabric, then considered too utilitarian for women's clothing, she crafted dresses and sportswear that prioritized comfort and elegance. These early creations reflected her bold departure from the restrictive garments of the Edwardian era, signaling the dawn of a new, modern femininity. Chapter 3: The Chanel Revolution, Redefining Women's Fashion. The early 20th century was a time of profound social change, and Gabrielle Chanel positioned herself at the forefront of this revolution. Women were shedding the constraints of corsetry and embracing greater personal and political freedom. Chanel understood this shift intuitively, designing clothing that aligned with the spirit of liberation. Her simple, elegant silhouettes offered women the freedom to move, work, and live as they pleased. One of Chanel's most iconic innovations was the little black dress, introduced in 1926. At a time when black was reserved for mourning, Chanel transformed it into a symbol of modern elegance. Vogue hailed it as the uniform of the modern woman, and it quickly became a staple in every stylish wardrobe. Its versatility and timeless appeal epitomized Chanel's belief that simplicity is the keynote of all true elegance. Another revolutionary creation was Chanel No. 5, launched in 1921. Unlike traditional floral perfumes, which mimic nature, Chanel No. 5 was the first fragrance to incorporate synthetic aldehydes, creating a complex, abstract scent. The perfume became a global sensation, with Marilyn Monroe famously declaring she wore nothing but a few drops of Chanel No. 5 to bed. This marked the beginning of branding as we know it today, with Chanel becoming synonymous with luxury and desirability. Chanel's designs weren't just aesthetically pleasing, they were deeply pragmatic. During World War I, she introduced practical suits and dresses that catered to the needs of working women. She drew inspiration from menswear, incorporating elements like straight-cut silhouettes, tailored jackets, and flat shoes. This ability to anticipate and respond to societal changes ensured Chanel's relevance and enduring success. Chapter 4: Coco Chanel's Comeback and the Rise of the Iconic Brand. After the turmoil of World War II, Chanel faced her most significant setback. Her relationship with a German officer during the Nazi occupation of France tarnished her reputation, forcing her into a period of exile. For nearly a decade, Chanel remained out of the public eye. But in 1954, at the age of 71, she made a triumphant return, proving that resilience and reinvention were central to her story. Chanel's comeback collection reintroduced her signature tweed suits, quilted handbags, and understated elegance to a new generation of women. The 2.55 handbag, named for its launch date in February 1955, was a stroke of genius. With its practical shoulder strap and elegant design, it became an instant classic. Similarly, her tweed suits, adorned with delicate chains and buttons, redefined sophistication and femininity. Chanel's revival was met with skepticism at first, but she quickly won over critics and customers alike. Her design spoke to a post-war world seeking simplicity and elegance. By the time of her death in 1971, Chanel had solidified her legacy as a fashion pioneer whose influence would endure for generations. Chapter 5. The Karl Lagerfeld Era, Reinventing Chanel for a New Age. When Karl Lagerfeld assumed the role of creative director at Chanel in 1983, the brand, despite its legendary status, had lost much of its modern appeal. The challenge before Lagerfeld was daunting: how to honor the legacy of Gabrielle Chanel while revitalizing the brand for a younger, trend-driven audience. What followed was a masterclass in reinvention, with Lagerfeld breathing new life into Chanel by reinterpreting its classic motifs for a contemporary era. Lagerfeld's genius lay in his ability to remain faithful to Chanel's DNA while introducing bold, playful twists that made the brand feel fresh and relevant. He leaned heavily on the house's iconic elements: the interlocking C logo, tweed fabrics, quilted handbags, and camellias, but infused them with an irreverent, modern edge. For example, he reimagined the classic tweed suit with cropped jackets, vibrant colors, and edgy cuts, appealing to the tastes of a new generation. His designs bridged the gap between timeless elegance and cutting-edge fashion, securing Chanel's place as a global luxury powerhouse. Lagerfeld's tenure was marked not only by innovative collections, but also by his theatrical runway shows, which became cultural events in their own right. From recreating a Parisian street scene inside the Grand Palais to transforming it into a full-scale supermarket or a tropical beach, Lagerfeld turned the runway into an immersive spectacle. These shows captured the imagination of the fashion world and beyond, solidifying Chanel's reputation as a brand that was both classic and daringly innovative. Under Lagerfeld's leadership, Chanel expanded its reach into new markets, solidified its position as a lifestyle brand, and introduced product lines that appealed to a broader audience. The introduction of eyewear, cosmetics, and fragrances under his guidance made Chanel a more accessible luxury without compromising its core values. By the time of his death in 2019, Lagerfeld had not only preserved Chanel's legacy, but also ensured its future as a beacon of creativity and sophistication. Chapter 6. Chanel's cultural impact. Beyond the runway, Chanel's influence extends far beyond the confines of fashion, making it one of the most recognizable and culturally significant brands in the world. From Hollywood to high art, Chanel has left an indelible mark on global culture, transcending its roots to become a symbol of sophistication, empowerment, and modernity. One of Chanel's most enduring contributions to culture is its association with iconic women throughout history. From Marilyn Monroe's infamous claim about wearing only Chanel No. 5 to bed, to Jackie Kennedy's elegant pastel Chanel suit immortalized in photographs, the brand has been intertwined with moments that define cultural memory. Princess Diana, Rihanna, and Pharrell Williams are just a few of the many figures who have embraced Chanel, showcasing its universal appeal across generations and genres. Chanel's impact isn't limited to the people who wear it. The brand has been celebrated in art, music, film, and literature. Andy Warhol famously featured Chanel No. 5 in his pop art, cementing its status as a cultural icon. Films like The Devil Wears Prada and Coco Before Chanel have explored the allure of the brand and its founder, while countless songs and books reference Chanel as shorthand for luxury and aspiration. This omnipresence in popular culture underscores the brand's ability to resonate on a deeply emotional level. Beyond aesthetics, Chanel has become a symbol of empowerment. Gabrielle Chanel's journey from an orphanage to the pinnacle of the fashion world serves as a powerful narrative of resilience and self-determination. Her designs, which liberated women from restrictive clothing, were inherently feminist, celebrating freedom, practicality, and individuality. Chanel continues to champion these values, collaborating with artists, filmmakers, and designers to explore themes of identity, creativity, and equality. Chapter 7: The Timeless Language of Chanel. The story of Chanel is more than just a history of a fashion house. It is a celebration of innovation, resilience, and the enduring power of creativity. From Gabrielle Chanel's revolutionary designs to Karl Lagerfeld's transformative vision, the House of Chanel has consistently set the standard for elegance and modernity. Each era has brought its own challenges and triumphs, yet Chanel remains unwavering in its commitment to excellence. As the brand continues under the creative direction of Virginie Viard, who took over following Lagerfeld's passing, Chanel faces the challenge of navigating a rapidly evolving fashion landscape. Sustainability, inclusivity, and digital innovation are now at the forefront of the industry, and Chanel is embracing these shifts while staying true to its legacy. Recent collections have reflected a softer, more intimate approach under Viard, signaling a new chapter for the brand while maintaining its signature sophistication. Chanel's enduring appeal lies in its ability to balance tradition with innovation. It is a brand that respects its history, but refuses to be defined by it, constantly evolving to reflect the world around it. Whether it's a classic tweed suit, a bottle of Chanel No. 5, or a daring runway show, Chanel speaks a universal language of elegance and empowerment. As we close this episode of Design Language, we celebrate not just the brand, but the spirit of creativity it represents. Chanel's journey is a testament to the power of vision and the importance of staying true to one's values, even in the face of adversity. It is a legacy that continues to inspire designers, artists, and dreamers around the world. Thank you for your attention and joining me on this exploration into the legacy and history of Chanel. If you're inspired by her journey, consider subscribing to Fashion Source, a free weekly editorial providing you the latest in fashion, culture, design, and technology. Until next time, I am Designer Malcolm, and remember, keep exploring the language of design.
We gon'